Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Holiday Little Cup edition, which is going to be now available for 2 weeks, where one of the weeks is going to be one basically other week in between. So we have 1 week now, then we're going to have a week where every single cup is going to be available for like Great League, Gold League and Master League. And then you're going to have this cup back again, so 2 weeks total. And yeah, today no face cam, a bit sick, it's the winter season, you might say no, this kind of stuff as well. And we're going to take a look here of course at this cup. What is the Holiday Little Cup edition here? It is kind of sad that this is only the Little Cup edition, by the way. I don't really understand why you don't have the Great League edition for it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, you're going to have here only normal, grass, ice and electric, as well as flying and ghost type Pokemon below 500 CP. So yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. Here of course, if you enjoy this type of videos, feel free to leave a like. Those take a lot of effort. I went through most of the meta here today, and I can definitely tell you one thing, and we're going to talk about this here right now as well, which is going to be very different compared to other metas. So here we're going to take a look real quick at the top 35 Pokemon that you can run for this meta, with the #1 spot being so far above everything else that it's crazy. If you have a 100% XL Incinerate Flying Press Smeagol, you basically win the meta. Congratulations, you're going to be able to most likely hit maybe even Legend already at this point. So, how many people have this Pokemon? I feel like out of the Pokemon, like of the people that are watching this video here right now, 0. Not a single one I would assume that does have a 100% XL Smeagol with Incinerate and Flying Press. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to send in some battles with this Pokemon. Link is down in the description all the time if you want to send in some of your battles. But so basically, other than for one team today, I am going to ignore Smeagol, because I don't think this Pokemon is going to be very common like this. If it's very common, sorry, there is not really a good answer, other than like 1 or 2 Pokemon, which you're going to talk about as well here today. But basically, based on this kind of assumption that Smeagol is not going to be a common Pokemon, because it's very difficult to get, because you have to basically have a Pokemon that has Incinerate as a fast move and is Shadow and it has still Frustration as a secondary move, and then it can kind of randomly pick basically Flying Press, which really rarely happens, of course. It's like a 1 in 100 chance or something like this. And then you need a 100% variant that you can build up for, as well for the Little Cup here. Basically impossible. And so I would not really assume that a lot of people have this Pokemon. There could be other Smeagol sets around that are not Incinerate Flying Press, but they're like a little bit suboptimal. There's, for example, Lock on Flying Press, which is also something that people could run, or Shadow Claw Flying Press, something like this. But I would assume that Smeagol does not really show up that often. And with this kind of premise, most of the meta rankings for PvPoke are straight up wrong. Like literally straight up wrong. There are going to be Pokemon here today in the video as well, where of course, like based here, I don't want to blame PvPoke, it's just based because of Smeagol being so overpowered. The meta ranking itself is quite not as what you would basically expect. There are a lot of Pokemon here that are in the 400 or 200 region of this meta, with like 70 something or 60 rating, that beat the entire meta, literally. And you're gonna see them here today as well, so only people basically that watch my videos here are going to have the benefit of me actually going through stuff that I should have not went through for a Little Cup, and have all the best Pokemon. But yeah, today we're going to take a look at some very interesting Pokemon here. Some of the meta Pokemon here as well, of course, they are all very solid that you can see on the screen, but some more interesting options, so let's move in right into the first team. After a lot of meta talk, we're going to talk a little bit here about some Pokemon that are very good. Here you see on the right side Pikachu. There are 2 Pikachus that are very solid. The best one is Pikachu Libre, which you only get for hitting Legend. And then it's basically, I think, nearly impossible. There's only like, I think, 2 or 3 IV spreads that are going to be below 500 CP under normal circumstances. It's quite easy to get this Pokemon under 500 CP on like Go Battle weekends if you hit Legend there, because then you have no IV spread that you have, like, it's like guaranteed. Like currently, if you had just like Legend or whatever at the current time, you would have guaranteed 10-10-10 for this Pokemon's IV spreads, making it very difficult to be below 500. But of course, you can either trade or you can claim your Pikachu Libre during a Go Battle week event, where the IV floor is 0-0-0 for encounters. As you can see here, especially with the double buff, Pikachu Libre is going to be one of the Pokemon I'm most looking forward to for this meta. I'm very certain it's going to be one of the strongest Pokemon, having crazy good type coverage here. With Thunder Punch and Flying Press is going to be ridiculous. Thunder Shock, of course, got buffed. Thunder Punch got buffed. Flying Press is one of the strongest moves in the game. And they're going to have Joltik in the back. There are other options as well. This is just like some kind of yeah, Pokemon that you can run. For a Lone Marek, there are also other options. For example, Litwick would be also an ideal Pokemon to substitute a Lone Marek if you don't have this Pokemon like this, especially with the Legacy move Shadow Bone. But yeah, this is going to be it for team number 1. Team number 2 is kind of similar again. We're going to have here Sandslash, Stunfisk, and Golett. Yes, there are going to be sometimes weaknesses, for example, which you're going to see as well. For example, Golett, going to be having a big weakness to Water-type Pokemon. As long as they don't resist your move and you have a hard-hitting fast move in a meta like this, where it's 500 CP, it is not a weakness. So basically, against most Water-type Pokemon, Golett most likely can just much slap down basically and win the battles. And here's the thing as well, a lot of the teams actually have some solid play against Smeargle. Here this team a bit more difficult, but actually Golett has a lot of play against Smeargle, especially in the 2-shield, because you have Brick Break on this Pokemon, which is going to allow you to do a lot of damage together with Mud Slap while double resisting Flying Press. So that's kind of something. But yeah, this team definitely looks like a lot of fun, should be definitely working out quite well, and we can move on to the next one. Here you see 2 Pikachus there. Why is this the case? Because I had 2 good Pikachus that I don't have any moving sprites for, because I Pokemon Go not exclusive, but kinda. It's just going to be here Flying Pikachu or the Pikachu Libre. Those 2 are very, very solid. Here we're going to have the Flying Pikachu. You can also use Pikachu Libre, and the lead Pikachu Libre is most likely a little bit better than the Flying Pikachu, just saying that here real quick. But yeah, this is going to be a Pikachu Cup, which is hilarious, which I have never seen really. But yeah, since the recent buff of Pikachu, here also with Thundershock, it's a very, very solid option. You're going to see here in the back Fermentus and Leavanny. Again, this team going to struggle a lot against Smeargle, but again, I would not really build teams currently around Smeargle unless you have like one for yourself. But it's very unlikely that the most opponents here are going to have Smeargle, and so I would kind of try to play around it here. And it's going to be a very good team here that's good against everything else other than Smeargle in the meta. Next one, we're going to have another more mainstream team. There's going to be some very interesting things coming up later on. Don't get me wrong, like I already promised you in the meta analysis that we're going to have some interesting Pokemon that you wouldn't really expect, and they're going to be some here, definitely. We're going to have here Sucker Punch Spinder, going to be an interesting one as well, kind of highly ranked and definitely a very solid Pokemon. I feel like it's a bit difficult to get. I think you can, like the encounter ones from the research, I feel like we should be higher than 500 CP, but I'm not too sure about it as well right now. But yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting Pokemon as well. Otherwise, again, Pikachu Libre going to be your best bet for this one. Those are the meta teams. There's some better team coming up as well. They are a little bit less, yeah, what you would expect basically. Here we have 1 Pokemon already for this one, or 2. Lantern and Chinchou. Chinchou is, I think, ranked 400 something in the current meta, which is ridiculous because, oh wow, take a look at Chinchou, beating nearly everything in the meta. Like literally, why is this Pokemon at rank 400? It doesn't make sense to me. It literally doesn't not make any sense to me. This Pokemon is amazing. Bubble and Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt gives you great coverage. For the Lantern, you have Water Gun, which is going to do a lot of fast move pressure. Both of them are going to be very, very strong, and you can also use basically both of them on one team if you want to. But I have no idea why Chinchou is like somewhere at rank 400. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, this Pokemon is amazing, and you see it here as well on paper. Like, this Pokemon is going to be crazy good. And yeah, this team is also very, very strong, I would say. I think this team is definitely having a lot of potential, as you can see again. Yes, we're going to have maybe struggles against Smeargle, but every team is going to have that, and that's going to be totally fine. And here we're going to now start going basically to the degenerate options that you can go for. Auroras, everywhere with Powder Snow. Don't get me wrong, Powder Snow is most likely better against most of the meta. But while you don't even see it here right now, I want you to go to PvPoke, put Auroras or Amura or 2 Pokemon that you're going to see very, very soon here, with a Rock Throw in the matchup, basically in the team ranking, and go to 2-shit scenario. Basically everything dies. This Pokemon can nearly guarantee alignment, where maybe even you could do something where you have different kind of things other than like Double Charm in the back here, which of course Double Charm is funny and very, very strong, but you could even try to do even a little bit more out of it by having something like this, like perfectly basically matched up with the Cottony or something like this. I think it would be also a lot of fun. But yeah, again, a Rock Throw, nobody talks about, it is so overpowered. And we see it here in the next team as well. This is basically the same team, but like in kind of reversed. We're going to see on how strong Graveler, especially the Shadow variant if you have, with a Rock Throw is. This is, again, the 0 to 1 shit scenario. The 2 shit scenario, this Pokemon is nearly unstoppable. And as you're going to see here already in this matchup, it looks insane. Rock Throw, Rock Blast, Thunderbolt, giving you great coverage against the current meta. You don't really have to worry about anything here. This Pokemon is just going to do the job. And yes, you're going to need something that can deal with Digger Speed here a little bit. Maybe Cottony is not the best ideal Pokemon for that one. You can go, for example, also for the Fomantis or something like this. But like, yeah, those Pokemon there in the back, they're going to be so overpowered. And basically, most people will mostly not know about it because they are not really highly ranked on PvPoke and usually have a completely different moveset there. But Rock Throw is overpowered, I can tell you already. So, how can you break the Pokemon that we just looked at? Like the Rock Throw users, for example, but also the meta that we had before. And the one Pokemon that can do it is literally Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn and Ferroseed both are going to be very solid as core breakers for the current meta, and really like to have 2 Dragon types in the back, allowing them basically to shine a little bit better against those what's called the fire type Pokemon or something like this. Like those Pokemon you're going to be able to beat with Dragon type Pokemon a little bit easier, especially with Altaria. Altaria is going to be one of the only Smeargle answers as well. Speaking of Smeargle answers, we can now take a look at team number 9, which is basically a team designed to counter Smeargle. So if you're ever going to be in a position where you're going to be like, I'm going to counter so many Smeargles here, they all have Incinerate plus the Flying Press somehow, then you should run this team. We're going to have the Elite of Talonflame, we have the Safe Swap of Golett, and we have the Annihilate in the back. And what we're going to see as well is that this is a team where Smeargle doesn't really have a chance at all. Every single Pokemon has very solid play against it, and this is definitely something that is quite interesting to note here, as this can showcase again that Smeargle is actually even beatable even with those Pokemon here, even that the difference is so ginormous, this Pokemon is not untouchable. And of course, as promised as well, there's going to be one team with Smeargle. Yes, Smeargle is kind of overpowered. Let's take a look at how good Flying Press and Incinerate is. Yeah, that looks very overpowered. And again, you kind of beat all of the Pokemon, the ground type Pokemon don't want to face. And this is totally fine. And this is also going to be it now for this video. I hope so that you enjoyed this video here today as well. And I hope I see you in the next one. Bye bye.